Welcome to FMA Talk Live. It is Dr. Tim and my wonderful co-host.
Hey, PT Ty's here. Hey.
How are you all doing today? We had a great weekend. We're going to be talking about that. We changed the topics. Well, we eliminated one of the topics. We actually said we were going to talk a little about this. And I decided in the long run that it would be better to keep our shows a little shorter. And then for those who come in late, I'll say, well, I told you should have came in earlier. Okay, there we go. So this weekend we had this. So we're going to be talking about our instructors camp, the World Modern Arnis Alliance IDC Instructor Development Camp, which was phenomenal. Very
fun. Good stuff.
All right. Oh, yeah, people are watching Noah's Comedy. Make sure you tell us where you're watching from, both where you're logging in from as YouTube, Facebook, whatever. I've revamped. I'm going through Datu. I'm actually looking at my analytics as we're doing this. We've got 2 people so far watching from the Tim Hartman YouTube channel, which I'm no longer using the Datu Hartman one. I'm going to try to funnel it all here. And then I've got people logging in from the Datu Hartman, nothing from FMA Talk Live or the World Modern Arnis Alliance Facebook page, but we don't know. We'll see how this all goes. So, but I hope everyone's doing well today. As we've talked about before, we have a new element. We talk about some Tagalog. We talk about upcoming events, and we're going to do some product announcements today. And that might be a permanent thing. We'll see how that goes. So, we'll hop right into it. So this would be like Sesame Street, brought to you by the letter U.
There you go.
So last week we started this off talking about the letters the colors of that are important for Filipino martial arts. I've since expanded that for my school. I've got all of our belt colors, which cover everything. So we talked about the flag, red, white, blue, and yellow, along with black. Red, white, and black are probably the most common colors used for uniforms. So, white is puti, atim is black, and dilwa, I think that's yellow.
Dilao. I always forget yellow. Yeah, dilao. I think it's dilao.
Dilao. So we did that. So today we're going to talk about the counting. Now, I will say this: when you're in the Philippines, there's a lot of Taglish going on. A lot of Taglish. When you're talking about 1,500 of something, they'll just say 1-5. So that's all done in English, But we're going to talk about how to count up to 10, 20, and 30. We're not going to do it all. I'm going to give you this. It's a simple lesson. How to add 10. So first of all, let's pull up our words. And my phone is saying stuff. Nope, not slides. I don't want to slide.
Hey, we got someone watching from Mindanao. Nice.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know Mindanao dialect. Sorry.
Yeah. Share screen, Windows. I'm going to do this one right here. All right, here we go. So remember, this is Tagalog. This is not every dialect. There's over 100 dialects of Filipino language. So don't get a tattoo with any of the things that we're telling you. How about we start with that?
There you go.
User beware. It's funny because I did the Tagalog, the Filipino Babayan script on my uniform, and we did Praise Sarnis. I spell it exactly the way, I'm not spelling it phonetically. I'm going letter by letter. Craig actually had an expert do it for his tattoo. It's the same thing. Yet then I got people who are saying, oh, why you have this spelled on you? I'm like, well, 1, you might not be an expert. 2, I may have gotten it wrong. 3, there's multiple versions of that script. So the same thing with language. There's like over 100 dialects here. So take this one. So this is 1 through 10. And I'm going to let PG Ty take point on this one, as far as, because he knows better where to emphasize on the word.
Yeah, my accent may be icky, but I'll give it a shot. Yes. So going through the numbers, and they're actually conveniently numbered with the words and the letters matching. So that's good.
Look at that. Planned already.
Amazing. Yes. So yeah, isa, dalawa, tatlo, apat, lima, anim, pito, walo, siyam, sampu. So that's 1 through 10. And I went fast, but I mean, you get the idea. Basically, it starts with a vowel if it's a number, then the accent's there. If it doesn't start with a vowel, then the accent's near the end.
Okay. So after we go through 10, we put the word, and Tim Dobson made this comment. You are partially correct. You're fairly close. You're mostly right. But here's how it goes. The next one is Dalawampu. Okay, so first of all, Delawa, when we pronounce, a lot of times we pronounce it sloppy. It sounds like E, as in Delaware, Delawa. It's Delawa. So it's more of a flat A, I think. And I've had people send me emails signing their rank diploma with E's on there, and I just couldn't correct them due to political nonsense, and I would just let it slide, and hey, whatever. So we go to the next slide. Let me get to the next slide. Boom. Here is 11 through 19. So it's labing and the number. So labing is for 10. So labing isa, labing dalawa, labing tatlo, labing apat. So on and so forth. And then it stops at 9. Labing siam, whatever.
Yep.
So sampu is 10. So it's dalawampu. So it's Delawa and Sampu put together. Same thing for 30. But if it was Dalawampu Isa, Dalawampu Delawa, so then when you get to 29, it's Dalawampu Siam, and then that was a harder one to pronounce.
Tatlumpu.
Let me.
Tatlumpu.
I prefer using my. Oh, actually, I do it the other way. I like using.
In some ways, that's kind of similar trend to English, right? Because 10 is 10, 20 is 2 combined with the T part of 10, and 30 is the 3 combined with the T part of 10.
Tatlumpu, according
yep.
to the voice translation of this.
Yep.
If that's actually done, Tatlumpu. But as I made sure to point out, it's not how it's done in the Philippines. Well, I bet you it is. It's just that, when we're in the streets, it's Taglish all the way.
Especially in the bigger cities, right? Or in anything that's bigger than a tiny village tends towards that.
Now obviously, I think if you're writing a paper, you'll get the spelling correctly. But maybe if we're talking, conversational numbers versus actual formal ones that you might, write in a report or all this other stuff. But who knows? I mean, because at the end of the day, you would use the numbers anyways. You wouldn't use the words. When you can easily go 3-0 versus Tatlumpo.
Right.
No problem, Tim. Okay, so there we go. So, and once again, Dove's Eyes, thank you so much from Mindanao. And then that was, that's correct. Thanks for the clarification. You got it, brother. So there's a couple options there on doing some things there. So I'm going to shut this down because we're done. Oh, actually, no, I was about to need to leave the studio. Don't want to do that. So, and each week we're going to come up with something. I think next week we'll do some verbal commands that you might use in a school, martial arts school, calling to attention and salutation, just remembering each dialect has its own variation. Each school may have its own protocol. So we are not telling you that there's only one way, but this is a proper way, and there may be other proper ways. So before we go to the main topic, I want to talk about some products that came in. Been having some hit and miss luck. I got ripped off at one time, and I've been touch and go about dealing with the Philippines. And I found 2 vendors that I'm trusting right now. Actually, I got some more, but some things just don't make sense shipping over, and that's the problem because everyone keeps asking me when you get more stick bags, like the nice ones. I can't get them because the shipping kills me.
Yep.
Because Well, it doesn't weigh much. Yeah, but they do, DHL is how we get it over here. It's a combination of weight and volume. And the stick bags that we're talking about, these big backpack ones we have, they just don't collapse very well. So, but I think I got an angle on that. I think I got a workaround.
Yeah.
Two of my vendors know each other, and one I can put swords in it, and the other can get the back. So
Okay.
I might not be getting them all at once, but I think I can make something happen here.
Use the bags as part of the shipping.
There you go. So at least the smaller ones, I like the smaller ones. I think they're spot on. I think they're like the new thing. So
Yeah,
first of all,
is the one I have, is that the small one? Because that's like normal size.
That's the large. So there's three. There's small, large, extra large, and then the
ginormous.
Yes, I forgot what we call it. We nicknamed it the one. Forgot what it was.
It's like a truck.
Later. Yeah, you could fit a Filipino in there because when the guy brought it to me, I'm like, you can fit in that. I'm like, what do you do? I did exactly what you told me to, and we measured it. Oh my God, you did.
Yep.
So I've got 2 training knives that I have plenty left. So this is an aluminum training knife. It's about 10.5 inches long with a carabao handle. Okay. Actually, what I was going to do? I was going to do the camera thing. Settings. Let me see if I can change well, too late now. I'm not going to do it now. I was going to work on my, when we're talking about not being able to show stuff, I bet you if you back your camera up, you could. Like the settings in your camera.
Could, but the room is, I've got,
I get you.
Wall behind me.
I get you. The other one is a double-edged dagger. Okay. Okay. Now these are pretty cool. Mm-hmm. So these are the 2 knives that I have a bunch of at the moment. They're both the same price, but there is one other extra option on it. There's one with the Kydex sheath and the utility clip on there, which is phenomenal. The knife goes in, comes out. I will say this. Your knife will it will scratch because it's a soft aluminum. Mm-hmm. But any aluminum is going to scratch. It's just, it goes from a nice mirrory finish to that fairly quickly, but a little aluminum polish. So either of these knives are $50. Okay. So we're having a special right now. It's $60 with shipping and handling. Well, actually, it's $50 per knife plus $10 shipping and handling, and that $10 will cover the entire order, no matter how many you buy. You buy 5, so now what are we talking about here? We're talking $260 because it's $250 for the knives and an extra $10 shipping for the handling. The other thing we got going on, this one with the Kydex sheath and the clip, which we had someone who works with Kydex and is in law enforcement, knows about this stuff, says the utility clip is a phenomenal clip. It is really a high-end clip or a high-quality clip versus what could actually be out there. The other thing that came out, I only got 3 of these left. I now have mini Ganuntings. These are live, and I will be getting training versions of this in steel. Nice. So this is about a 16-inch web knife. I don't have the length of the blade, but the overall is 16. That's the Ganunting, and it has got a partial Kamagong handle. Nice. And then there is, because what they do is they do like a black wood on the back, and then they put this in front. And this is a Talabong. So I have plenty of Ganuntings and Talabongs that I sell. They're all full size. I did a limited run of minis. I only have 2 minis left of the Ganuntings and 1 of the Talabong. So the knives with the Kydex, I only have a couple left. I actually have a karambit with the Kydex as well. I didn't put that in there. Master Parsons says hello.
Nice.
So if you want to order it, what you do is you email me, datu@gmail.com, or find Tim Hartman and Facebook me. Don't do the Datu one because of the automation of all of my social media stuff. I do not see these emails. It just gets overwhelmed with people going, I said, hey, if you're interested in our online university, say MAU. And it blows up the things and messages just disappear. I have to sift through them, and the software is not very good at finding because I got to remember who sent me what. But either of these knives by themselves are $50, and then it's a $10 shipping. No matter how many purchase you buy or how many you buy, if you do buy 2 of these, it's still only a total of $10. And then if you wanted the one with the Kydex sheath and the utility clip, this one is $100. Phenomenal. $129 on either of these. Because of these, the size and the value, these actually going to ship for $20. But if you got 2 of them, it would be $20 on top of the merchandise. So
all 3 of those mini ones are live, right?
Yeah, these mini ones are all live. I got I ordered my first steel training Talibon. Amazing. And of course I saved it for somebody. They passed, which shocked me, but it didn't last more than 2 minutes after that. So once I said, hey guys, by the way, this blade is available, boop, gone. And of course, now, so everyone knows, the topic is the training camp. Well, when you've got a room full of Filipino martial artists who like sticks, knives, and swords, and you say something's available, it goes very quickly. So, so that's, so that went, but I will be getting a lot more stuff in. Grandmaster Unyo, how you doing? Maganda umaga. Good morning, PH time. The 2 great men in the world of martial arts. Pugay, stay safe. More power to both of you.
Thank you, sir.
So we'll be over in February. The goal was to see if we had anybody ready that might be testing for something. Actually be testing for anything. I have some people who are not in a position to test for high ranking, but if they make it, why not test in the Philippines? So all right, and that would be Kuntao. This is Kuntao Grandmaster GM Unyo. So we will be over. We're going a bunch of places. So, we're going to be going Luzon, mostly Manila. We'll do some side trips. And then we're hitting Cebu. Actually, for those who are interested, we do have a trip package. We'll be talking about a little of that next week. Look at dates and rates. Okay, what do we got here? Got here late. Not sure if I missed the sounds.
Home Shopping Network.
There we go. So those are the two things. Well, actually, the last one is upcoming events. Okay. I got to get rid of this. All right. So I got rid of what we did this past weekend. So let me get this going, and then we will be able to go. So last thing we're going to do before we start the show. The show's main topic is upcoming events, and we'll have more as we go. So the first thing, we have 2 events on the same weekend on October 19th, actually the same day. We have the annual Fall Fling. Fall FMA Thing Fling.
Yeah, it's combined for the spring and the fall, all in one event. So twice as fun, hopefully.
Yes. So it's October 19th, Providence Park, large pavilion, Fairfax, Virginia. PG Tai is the director of that. So a bunch of different things. You got to change one of those logos if he's going to be there.
That's right. Yeah. Didn't give me the new one, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah. So you have Modern Arnis, you have Bikini Tertia, you'll have Smoking Sticks, Das, or Daguk Systems. Who knows what else is going to be there? Who knows? Probably left CS, I said Bikini already. So obviously, it all depends on if there's any last minute issues. I've been there a bunch of times. I really do like that event. And by all means, you should go there. And It starts at 9 a.m., ends at 6-ish. And can you tell them any logistics about that?
Well, I mean, we have the park to ourselves. There'll be some sort of food. I haven't figured out whether we're cooking on site. I don't think so, or I'm ordering. But this time I'll make sure it shows up, because last time we had some troubles. But we'd all made it work because everybody came together, which is good, because it's a family picnic event as well as the training, so it works out well.
Mm-hmm.
There's parking right by. We've got a covered pavilion, so even if the weather's icky, but if the weather's nice, we got a whole soccer field that's just whoever is playing at the park might use a little bit, but basically we got the whole dang park for ourselves because there's no other pavilion in the park. It's really nice.
Okay. And logistics, like you got a bunch of people that teach at this on a regular basis, right?
Oh, I see, like that. Yeah. So I think I've already got 8 or 10 people signed up to teach. And most of them have done it before at one time or another, but we don't always have the same people. But we do have everybody returns, which is nice, because the idea is that everybody gets out there and shares and sees things. So yeah.
And how much does something like this cost?
Oh, that's right. It's not on there. So it's my gift to the local people that train or interested in support FMA. So it's free. I do suggest, if you want to help out, I'll take a donation. And people ask how much, and I say it's a nominal amount, covers me reserving the site if a few people do it, but it's $10, and we can do PayPal.
So if anyone wants to donate $10-$20, that's nothing,
Yeah, for a whole day of training and food. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But I don't force it, and so that way, if you're not in a place but you still want to support, then by all means come out. Or hey, you just want to see what it's like.
And
lots of people have gotten new students because of this.
And Guro Bernard is looking forward for this event. Is he one of the presenters?
No, I don't think so. I don't think
he's one of.
But he's supported all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
No, and he's actually very high ranking in at least 2 other arts, I think. So yeah.
All right. Here we go. Smoking Sticks was my name when I played the drums. Some say they remind me of Animal from the Muppets. Okay. And musical talent of an alley cat. I can respect that.
And I don't know if you showed it, but Stephen Swinney from Texas said hi, which is cool.
How you doing, Steve? And then Grandmaster Unio. Oh, you're much welcome, Cued. And let's see if they will survive for the easy task for testing high ranks. But one thing I'm sure you will made it through Pugai. Yep. So, all right. So,
so yeah, that's one of the things that day.
Yeah. The other thing that day is the Buffalo Niagara Lob and Laurel. That's my tournament.
Excellent.
So that'll have point stick fighting. It'll have think karate tournament with stick fighting involved. So it's sanctioned by the FCL, Filipino Combat League, as well as the Western Combat League. I have the president of WCAF coming to run live stick divisions for us.
Nice.
This hopefully will be the premiere of live stick fighting in our event this year.
So you're going to do stick and kick also?
No. We're going to do WCAF style.
Okay. All right.
We have weapon forms, hand form. People are like, what do you mean hand forms? They're like, we're kata. So, but I also we do forms or kata with weapons. We do forms or kata without weapons. We do point karate fighting, point stick fighting. Synchronized forms is a new division. And then we'll have the continuous stick fighting and for 18 and over. And hopefully we'll have a couple vendors. I've got one vendor for sure where I'm waiting for someone to get back to me on the other vendor or vendors. And I had some special guests that were supposed to be there. There's been some last minute scheduling issues, so I didn't want to reveal anything. This is the first part of a multi-tier thing that we're turning this event into a martial con, like a Comic-Con, but martial con. So next year is the World Championships that I'll be hosting, and it'll be a huge venue. We'll have a lot of different things going on. I literally have a year now to get it done. It's now, it's a year from now, this past weekend, the 3rd through the 5th, or 4th through the 3rd through the 5th. Although the first day is seminars at our location, and then the 2 days are there. So, but we'll talk about that. After this is the Buffalo Niagara Martial Art Festival, And my special guest is Smiling Sam Alvey, the Karate Combat Heavyweight Champion. A bunch of people. It's a one-day event. We had it in the spring. We moved it. We're doing it twice this year because we're moving the dates to get it to its new location, the fall. Too many things in the spring. Then the following weekend, you, me, and others will be up in Salem, Massachusetts for the Modern Arnis New England camp, or the Mass camp.
Yep, absolutely.
Along with the
That'd
FMA
be our
Collaborative.
third time lately, even though you can make it as there used to be a mass camp a long time ago, and so our idea is let's get that going again.
Yep. And so this will be the 9th and 10th in Salem, Massachusetts. And then we have a special event. Registration is not opened up for this yet. It is our Praises Arnis Holiday Seminar. This is a free physical and in-person and online event. And it'll be from 12 to 3 on the 7th. There'll be limited space, both in person and online. There is a pre-registration. It is still free, but there is an intake form you need to fill out. And the last one that we're going to talk about for now, the World Modern Arnis Alliance 25th anniversary camp.
Absolutely.
And PG Ty and ours 60th birthday.
Yep.
And
a couple other birthdays as well that'll probably pop up.
Yeah. So we have a whole bunch of our board members teaching, and Grandmaster Bobby Tabuada is one of our instructors of this year. We have a whole bunch of other things.
One of our friends, coming to support.
Yep.
Awesome.
Guru Mike and May Williams will be there. Guru's Mike and May Williams.
Yep.
And who knows? We've got some invitations out to other people. I'm not going to say whom they are, because I'm not that guy to say these are the invited guests and they don't show up. You said they'd be there. I go, no, I said these were the invited guests. So,
no, you're supposed to invite people and then put them on the bill without telling them.
Right. They've done that too. Yeah, I've seen that. Okay. So Grandmaster Bobby has committed to the event. Obviously, there's always the potential of anyone being sick or can't make it, And right now, one of the reasons, besides the tournament, I probably wouldn't go down to the fall fling this year because I had bicep and rotator cuff surgery. Even though I did stuff this weekend here in Buffalo, I really am saving it until I need to. As much, and I probably would end up last minute going anyways because that's how I am. So that's it for now. Those are the events. So we'll end this right here. Let me see. What did? Big screen. I like this night mode. I can see a lot better now. Okay. L asked, here we go. And do you think any of the BJJ haters will come to any of these events and try the school and set you guys straight? You know what? Funny thing. During their camp, a BJJ stormed our dojo.
That's right.
Actually, I found out that he stormed the dojo afterwards. That was the intent. He asked for my autograph, but by all means, watch my social media content because we actually got to document. We were filming content when this guy showed up. So this is perfect. It's great. You'll love this. I love it when my fans come and visit.
That's right. It's amazing how that worked out.
So remember, we can talk about all this stuff. We're going to recap on social media. Actually, we're going to, at the end of the year, we're going to pretty much every year. The goal is when we do our last show of the year, I want to do a follow-up on some of the things I've talked about. So I've been very critical of our community, saying that if we are going to make sure that there's another generation, that we need to start working and worrying less about ourselves and more about our people. Yep. I've challenged other people to step up and say, hey, I'm doing all these seminars. Why aren't you?
Yep.
What other things have been doing? And there's some people, like I said, some of the IMF people have stepped up their social media game. And my only concern was I thought their production value was a little weak. And it's little things, like using better lighting and putting a microphone on it. And microphones these days are dirt cheap. But I mean, I don't mind that it's raw. There's just a couple little tweaks to take it to that next level. So the last show of the year, we're going to go over, we're going to have people. I want to see if Talus will be part of it.
That'd be good.
What have we done? Have we improved as a community? So have we proved with our group, the World Modern Arnis Alliance, have Are we the only? Have we stepped up, stepped down, stayed the same? Have others done the same? Is the current state of Modern Arnis in a better position now, the same position, or a worse position? So, at least, and this is all going to be from our perspective, which not everyone agrees with, and there's nothing wrong with it. So, we'll go through that and stuff of that nature, and we're gonna, and this ties in because it's all about the social media, because most of the people prove they know nothing about social media when they make comments on my social media stuff. Especially there's been 2 knuckleheads or alleged influencers and leaders in our community, one in the Modern Arnis community and one in another, that threw some shade at me. But really what they were really trying to do is they saw how successful my social media campaign was, and they protested publicly to get attention their way. Because really, if they didn't like it, why would you draw any attention to what I was doing? So when some people do stuff that I don't like, if they do something against me, I'm going to be vocal about it. But if someone's doing something that I don't care for and it's better off, what I will just do is not mention it, not mention their names, and not give them the attention that they're trying to do. Yep, they are the keyboard warriors. But some people, they got to do. What do? They can't do good on their own, so they got to take other people down. And
it's nothing new, right? Keyboard warriors since, gosh, I remember the 90s. So or even 80s if you want to go back that far.
So it is what it is. But we'll talk about that. But ultimately, when you see all the content I put out there, there's a method to the madness. I am not trying to troll the trolls. That just works at the same time. Although, yes, they're bullies. They try to be. Evidently, I'm the bully now because I'm picking on BJJ. Okay, and for record, as much as I'd like to take credit for BJJ, that's actually Master Ken. He called it that first. So,
that's true. I remember.
Yeah, that was hilarious. All you BJJs out there.
Speaking of his stuff, his stuff's no good either. So just so you know that, Master Ken.
Yeah, yes, that is an inferior art of martial arts.
That's right.
Ameridote sucks.
There you go.
We've called him out. I got a good. He and his original name is Matt Page, and he used to be part of Martial Talk. I got him out of character at an event, hey, we know each other. What do you mean? Come on.
Right.
And my initial name on the Martial Talk was the Renegade, and I go, yeah, Martial Talk Renegade. He's like, oh, there's a blast from the past. And then too many people are like, okay, you got to get back into character. Let's do a quick photo and I'll get out of your hair. So, there we go. Hitching a ride on your star. Thank you, sir. So let's get into it. Today's show is about the World Modern Arnis Alliance training camp.
Right on time, right at 9 o'clock. Sounds good. Excellent.
IDC, Instructor Development Camp. We restrict this to 24 people. Mm-hmm. We do have a 3-hour session that is open to our black belt candidates for the upcoming camp because it's the 25th anniversary. So we're prepping and the board, actually the entire board was present. Well, there was one board member that wasn't there. I'm sorry. One board, well, actually twice if you talk about Master Parsons. He's on the board too. Forgot. His injured reservedness has been changing. He's been getting stronger all the time. So we had a couple. It was great. We had, I think, 7 states, I want to say. So obviously New York, we had Pennsylvania, Virginia, Maryland, Maine, Alabama.
Yep. You said Pennsylvania already, right?
Let's do that. Maybe it's 6. Okay. So we had Maine, Pennsylvania, New York, Maryland, Virginia, Alabama, Ohio.
Yes, definitely Ohio.
So 7 states.
Yep.
And 3 countries. Now, obviously, the United States was one of the countries, but we had multiple groups. We had 3 groups from, 4 groups from Canada showed up.
We had a lot of Canadianians.
And here's the big one, everybody. Because, guys, you were talking about the BJJs all the way from Rio de Janeiro. Professor Tallis came up, who had me down teaching last year for a week, a little over a week. And I was teaching in all the JJ schools because that's all there are down there.
Yeah. What a pleasure, though, to meet him. That was good. I mean, I met him online before, but this was good.
Here we go. Oh, you guys have done it now. Master Cat is going to reach out. Yeah. You know what I say about that? I'll make this into a cod piece. He can restomp it all he wants.
All joking aside, you mentioned the other name, the name behind the thing, Matt Page. Check him out on the movie. What was the name of that movie again?
Paper Dragons.
Paper Tigers or
Paper Tigers.
That's right.
He also did a one where it's him against the murderer, the cop, the sheriff, or whatever. And then he was also did a cameo on the Lone Ranger. He's probably done more, but
no doubt. Yeah.
That's a funny guy.
Absolutely.
So wow, we limit this to 24, with the exception of that 3 hour. Now, of course. But let's talk more. If we include the immersion portion where we had the prep, we actually have 2 more countries we add to the mix because we add Germany to it as well as Sweden. So, granted, it's not in person, but we do a hybrid methodology because we have the virtual, which I have to send the videos out. We have the camera up, people running. They can ask while I teach. I talk to people that are here, talk to people who are online. It goes back and forth real nice.
And you, for those in physical attendance, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong.
Killer, by the way.
You were sold out. So you had 25, 24, or maybe even more, depending on how you count.
Yeah. So Cop versus Killer was the Matt Page thing. Thank you, Brock. So
Brock is awesome.
Let's talk about things that happened there, and then we can talk about material. So one of which we now added 2 new members to the Canadian board.
That's right.
And that was Brad Fowler and Tim McMillan. So I had made a nomination for that. I don't tell that. Okay, so we're in multiple countries, and I do not tell anyone what to do. I might sit there and say, we really can't have this person for X, Y, and Z if there's issues in their personal, in their personal stuff, drug addictions and stuff of that nature.
It has to be suitable and appropriate.
Yeah, I mean, there could be things that disqualify people,
right.
But I don't tell PG Craig, who's our Canadian director, what to do. I give him a suggestion. He agreed wholeheartedly. These guys, the 2 of them, have been stepping up so much over the last couple of years, really supporting, and they haven't missed any of our events. They've always been, one of the 2 of them have been there, and they actually teach together in London, Ontario. So that was. Oh, and then Chris Workman, he was added to it, wasn't he?
He was already on it.
He was already on it. Okay. I'm having old timers moment here. Oh, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying the patches. We patched in people.
Yes, right. He did. He for some reason he didn't have a family patch.
And that really no one needs to know about that. Well, it's not a need to know. It just does. It's not relevant to the conversation. Gotcha. Then we officially inducted our Brazilian representative. Our director for Brazil is Professor Talles. And he also successfully completed the Modern Arnis University. So I have an online university you do. You take an online course. Okay. You train. And then you can test for your black belt if you put enough time in. We do classes ahead of time, stuff like that. But Talles had me come down. And Craig, we stayed a week down there. And he'd already been doing Filipino. He was actually a 4th degree in another Filipino martial art organization. So he's done his work.
Yep.
The same with our first person, Michael Werner, who's a higher, is a 5th degree black belt, I think, of the DAV, if I'm not mistaken.
I think sounds right.
And he does Taekwondo, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Krav Maga, spot on. So Mike was the first one to not only pass the online test, but actually do the in-person. So Talles did his in-person test on top of which, because basically we give you a basic black, but to get your degree, it has to be done in person. We have to cross hands. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Otherwise, it's just basic.
Both of them did, in addition to the Modern Arnis University, didn't both of them do online training with you
yes.
as well along the way?
So they both would do all of our seminars, and if they couldn't do it live, they bought the seminars so they can train afterwards. And then I would do meetings with both of these guys.
Yep.
on regular basis. I mean, sometimes it was right after the seminar. Other times, hey, let's schedule time to sit down and talk. I got some questions about this, that, and the other thing.
Yep.
Talas's online test actually was a challenge. It was very hard, and not because of him. It was the first time, it was more on me. I don't speak Portuguese, and he was in a room with terrible acoustics. And I was getting very, very frustrated. And that experience made me a better instructor because I had to calm down and then use technology, Google Translate,
Right.
step with the other foot, step with the other foot. There we go. And whether I would say it myself or repeat what was said, but I was able to do that. Boom. So at the end of the day, we cannot choose the scenario we're in. We can only make the best of it. And
you since you travel a lot, you might want to get those time kettle earbuds. They translate in real time.
what are they called?
Time kettle.
I'll have to look at those.
Those are pretty cool.
Okay, that's cool. I see. This is why we all hang out together, because we all have different fields of knowledge and experience, and we come together and share with each other. So, which was the whole theme of the camp.
Mhm.
So, that was all the administrative stuff that happened, which was great.
We probably have to remind people what the instructor development camp is real quick.
We're about to hit right now. So,
Right.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late. Okay, no problem.
Hey, Matt.
So, but the whole idea of the instructor development camp, it is capped at 24 people for the main course. Did we have 20?
No, I like I said, I know we had we ran out. We had to have people sitting at tables more than one, so we must have had. Let's see, 60. My brain isn't working right now. No, I thought we had over 20. I thought we were tapped out, but maybe I missed it.
I'm actually looking at it. I'm logging in right now. Let me look at this here.
It was one of our bigger ones, if I remember right. Anyway.
Well, unless someone was put in a different. Oh, you know what? See, I have to look at everything because some of the stuff people are in for two. Okay, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so we had I see 18.
Okay.
But unless Janice registered in a different format, but okay, so I had 8 chairs out or 8 tables out, two chairs per table, which is 16, and at least 2 of the tables we had to get an extra seat.
At least 2, yeah. And then there was some drop by people.
Well, then there was
but yeah.
Yeah, if we're talking about well, obviously, if we're talking about well, I'll do it right now. So if we're talking about what we did on Saturday, I'm talking about there should have been 18 people staying the entire weekend.
Yep.
So almost sold out there. But then we talk about and that's like I said, excluding the online and all the other stuff. So if we go, and I took Talis up to the falls beforehand as I'm looking for stuff. It's irrelevant, but okay, wait. And
so as we develop, we go through, we pick some chunks of the curriculum, we train, we're at tables talking about it and getting some details so that we can make sure that all of us are on the same page and can answer any questions, because the questions we have among ourselves, sometimes, we all have questions about what we're doing or suggestions or thoughts, and that can happen during that instructor camp, which I think is great.
So here we go. There's all.
There you go.
Is Jeremy in there? Well, that was that everyone would have been here on this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't count. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, if I counted right, if I didn't count. Okay, 32 people on the Saturday, plus the online people. So there's probably another 6 in Ohio, and then we had the other internationals. So, so it was good. It was good. Like I said, I'm pleased. I the shame was I moved it to be earlier. It's PG. How you doing?
PG Craig, awesome. Long time no see.
Yeah. I moved this event to be earlier or later because there was some schedule conflicts.
Right.
And then, of course, when it was too late, I ended up having surgery, and we could have had it earlier as we wanted. Actually, we're going back to September. Better weather, we could have done an outdoor shindig. Although I think all the social stuff was fine.
It was fine.
The only thing that really threw off the wrench is that Friday we had my social media company come in, where people got to participate in that, but it was 3 hours in the middle, and that definitely threw off things a little. But I let people know ahead of time that was going to happen.
Right, and then we trained more into the evening a little bit.
Yeah, we did. We changed. I mean, no one lost time. We made sure that generally we try to be done between 4 and 6 o'clock so we can go out and socialize and we would train until 9-ish, and then we go out and get something to eat, and then we go back to the house or wherever and socialize for another couple hours. Needless to say, it'd be like 2 a.m. or so before we start going towards bed. Now, I mean, everyone was probably in bed by midnight on any given night in this house, and seeing that that's where usually the staff is, that's probably the best deal. Okay, I lost time when I couldn't find my watch. Okay. All right. So the whole idea is how to become a better instructor.
Yep.
I take point. Sometimes I have some people do something here on the side, but the big thing is to go through the curriculum, to ask any questions. And I had things I wanted to cover. I covered most of what I wanted to. But here's the other thing, too, is it's not about me. It's about what people want and need. Now, sometimes, like with Professor, he taught them what they wanted. He taught them what they needed. And sometimes we spend an hour on block check counter if that's what was needed. If people should have had their trapping hands down by then or whatever, he might not touch it again. Well, that means we're not doing it anymore. No, that means you should be doing your homework. And, if Professor thought we were weak on something, we did that something. And then we did all the other cool stuff as well. So, Master OG tie. We don't do it.
I did shave today, so.
So things that we covered, we do our Praces program, which is not just modern, it's modern and combatant. It's the Praces family systems. And we did we practiced, we went through and trained two of the 3 knife drills. I demonstrated the third. We didn't spend much time doing the third. Very little time. I was at the very end. We went over the advanced angles of attack, which is mapping out how when we do the angles of attack, that we do a 12 angle system. But the angles are done in a certain order and in a certain direction. But if you watch, Professor actually did the same angles in both directions. Angles 3 and 4 are a perfect example of it. If it's an angle, it was horizontal. So which way do you go? 3 would go forehand, 4 would go backhand. Okay. 1 is a diagonal one way, 2 is a diagonal the opposite way. But what about coming back up? Now, if you look at it, like the 12 back in the day, 12 was straight down. Well, if you do rumpy, it's 12 in both directions. You do figure 8, that gives you your angles 1 and 2 in the reverse. Banda, they're angle 3 and 4 or 4 and 3, depending on how you want to look at it. So Professor did all these things. We actually have an advanced series that actually goes through it. So really, there's only 5 angles of attack, but it becomes a 9-point star because you do each angle. It's an X and a plus, and you do them in both directions. So, and then there's the center point. So we went through the cutting and strikes. We went through the front grip thrust, the back grip thrusts. Had a real fun time with that. Talked about blending techniques, grafting things together. So we did forearm strip into an advanced application of obstruction removal. Actually, we did it on the weapon hand versus, well, instead of 1, 2, 3, and then letting go and reversing, we kept control of the weapon hand, whether it was in there or not, and was able to do obstruction removal with the weapon hand. We did it stick on stick, and then we did it knife on stick, and then we did it hand on stick, and then we did hand on hand. Trying to connect the dots, showing the evolution and how everything is actually the same, and really showing how you don't need a weapon to do our art. The weapons are teaching tools. As much as they are weapons, they're just as much a teaching tool. We went through lock flows, identifying locks, and then we have lock flows, and we talked about boxing combinations and all that other stuff. And it was Tuhan Brock, because I'll ask a question, why do we do these? And the answer is to become coachable. How do you do a bunch of lock flows together? Well, professor would just have a trial and error for an hour at a time easily, every camp, sometimes every day of camp. Well, we have predetermined one to give you the example. And then you say, all right, freestyle. But it gets people flowing much quicker, and that's the goal. And then, what do? You first learn a pattern, and then you innovate. Here we go. Leg on hand. Okay, hand on leg. Hand on leg. Now spin. Now Charlie Brown. Okay. All right, that's Mr. Boom. Mr. Mud. We talked a lot about how to develop clientele loyalty. And the nice thing is we have tables set up. So it is a classroom setting. It is not all, hey, we're on the floor training all the time. I mean, we are, but we're not. Let me see if I have a picture handy. Oh, there is. No, I don't. Although when people trendy did a story of me doing it. So I should have took photos about that. So, like I said, I set up an area. We have 8 tables set up with chairs. People have, we gave out some sheets so people can write notes on things and gave some examples. Yep. Really, I mean, if it's a martial arts school, then we need to teach like a school, and the instructor development camp, because of the length of time, we have tables and chairs set up so we can do that and take notes. A regular class, I mean, that's 30 minutes to an hour, depending on who you're teaching. And we're not going to sit in a classroom environment every day of the week. So what did you get out of the camp?
Oh, some good delivery things, some reminders. Actually, I came up with what I actually want to teach some instructors at some other time. Good. Just because as we were covering some stuff. And then I shared an old knife drill, which I don't think is from Modern Arnis, but is one that I think that you had shared a long time ago that's not part of what we do. I shared that with somebody because they asked. I mean, lots of good info, lots of good exchanging, lots of good delivery. I appreciated going through the curriculum pieces and the question and answer. That was good. And I got to meet and play and give some pointers to Thales just from the details and stuff that he ate up, like the open-minded young man that he is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was the cool part, because some things we take for granted. And one of the things that Thales really, why he enjoys being part of our group. Because when he came to Buffalo, and he used points, so he didn't see his plane ticket until after he bought it. He went from Brazil to Peru, and then layover in Peru to Atlanta to Buffalo, and it was. Ouch. And then I got here late, so which of course I was up late waiting, and that's when you rolled in. So it's like 2 a.m. when he got here, and of course we had places. I told him I was going to take him to the falls before the camp started, so we ran up there real quick and. We took him in a Mustang, so it wasn't that long. But he barely fit in the Mustang, but he enjoyed the ride. So Thales is almost, he's like 6'5". So I was like, whoa, okay. So, no, what's this here? What do we got here? Look at this here. I'll try freestyle and tie. Do a great beatbox and hit. Okay. Okay, there we go. All right. The thing that Talis pointed out was he really enjoyed coming because he got to see all these people who has yes, you really had to use his footwork on. And the thing here is because of his height, trying to stay in range for us, we had to make a point of make sure what your footwork is supposed to be, as opposed to what you're doing. Because obviously he had to change his footwork because he was so much taller. He was working with Peggy. Peggy was the smallest person in the room until the kids got there. And actually, you know what? She still was the smallest person in the room. So, I mean, when you got someone who's almost 7 foot, 6.5 foot tall, working with someone who's like 5'1", 5'2", it's a big discrepancy in size there. Okay, I don't know if you guys can answer my question. Do you guys remember your first? But I remember my first black belt test.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, look at this. Talis is here. We're just talking about you, Talis.
Oh, hey, how you doing, sir?
Heard us. Are you home yet, or are you still flying?
I hope he's back home by now.
So, one of the things that Talis said, that he liked is just that he saw how many people that had been around me for so long. So, Jason Arnold, mid 90s. I think he said 95.
Mm-hmm.
Paul O'Grady, one of my black belts. I don't remember when he started, but he got his black belt in 98. Chad Doolan, we've known each other since maybe 93, 94. I mean, we weren't friends at the beginning. We just met at the camp. We weren't. I mean, just
You and I, what, 98, 96? I can't remember.
You and I met in 98 at the camp, but we knew each other online prior to that, but we met in person. So depends on how you want to count,
Yeah.
But you look at the room. I don't know of anyone in that room besides, that went to the instructor camp that weren't around for at least a decade with us, with the exception of Talis.
Right.
So, Tim and I, 87.
Okay.
Yep. And then last stop before Rio. So he's still flying home.
Yep. Oh, PG Sam's on here.
Yep, PG Sam.
Awesome.
PG Sam. So, and he thought the comment that he made to me, and I'm paraphrasing, is that he saw all these other guys, and there's all these other guys. But then he looks at us and he sees a family. He sees a group that have had a decade, if not decades, of being together. And Will Harkey, hey, woohoo, 10 years this May. So there's another guy, part of the family.
Wow. It's been a while,
who's tearing it up in the Armored Combat League.
That's right.
Tearing it up. And we're working on a sponsorship for him too. So when you got all these people, Tim Dobson, somewhere between 93 and 95. Yep. Okay. You got all these people that hang with us and work with us for that long. That tells you something.
If you're paying attention, yeah.
We got nothing better to do.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm just saying if people would put two and two together, it would tell them something.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, of course, I know the naysayers are like, Tim sucks and all this other stuff, but it's like, well, then why are all these people hanging around for so long? Sam just said 2007, so so I would say the two new people, Peggy and Talis. So Peggy's been around for about 5 years. Mm-hmm. Talis has been, he's just like 2 years with us, but I think it's because virtual year first. But his thing was, it was so important for so many different reasons, and But the biggest one is to see that there was a quantity of people that spent a quality of time, or quality people of quantity time, and it's not just, me and you and I, just, we've been together forever today. The whole group has been together forever today.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he doesn't see that with any of the other groups. What he does is he sees individuals, he sees the leaders, but, because I love your personality. Thanks, Steve. But, and you know what? I don't want to go down the route, but, at the risk of going down the political nonsense, I would think some of my naysayers, I don't get, and we've had this conversation. They're all like, "Oh, Tim sucks, Tim this, Tim that." I go, but do you like the people that hang around Tim? Yeah, I love the people that hang around Tim. Well, do you think they're good people? Yeah. Well, have you ever thought why they hang around with Tim versus, think about it? Maybe the problem isn't Tim. Maybe the problem is I don't like Tim. Maybe Tim and I don't get along, but that doesn't mean that I'm a bad. I look at a bunch of people like, I don't get along with this guy.
I was going to say, we've all had friends who didn't like our other friends. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. No, I don't care. And we talked about this too. I have a protocol that you can't be on our board of directors if you're on another board of directors for another Modern Arnis group, because it's just a conflict of interest. It's it. It's nothing more than that. But, I'll use Kelly Warden and I. We have not always seen eye to eye, and that happens. But all the people that have both of us as friends in common, they all say the same thing. I like you two guys. Why? Because your shit is personal. It's between, if there's ever a problem, it's between the two of you, and you don't give it to us. You let us go back and forth and be friends with both of you if that's what you want. You let us, you yourselves, me and Kelly and I, ruin or create great friendships based on our interactions with the people versus telling people you can't be with this guy. Because I always tell people, how can I tell you who you can't hang out with when I don't let anyone tell me who I can't hang out with?
Right.
People talk about, I hung out with Ernesto and Remy would be this and Remy would be that. I hung out with Huck Polanis and all, and Dr. G, and I'm all these people I'm hanging out with. Remy never told me not to hang out with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
What would Remy do? I mean, hell, I was the one that got Remy and his brother talking again before he passed. But, you would think that if you just look. Now I look at some of the people out there and I get no wonder. Yeah. Well, these two are friends. And my comment is, well, that makes sense. Sometimes really, that person likes that person? And then that makes me wonder, well, that's a guy I like or respect. Why? What do they see? Or maybe they didn't have the same personal experiences that I have.
Right.
Why does that guy get along? Well, they're too far away, so they don't see the day-to-day bullshit. Okay, no problem.
Yeah, it's just people like always.
Yeah. I really hate politics and martial arts. How about just politics, period? When there's more than two people, politics are involved. One of the main reasons why I didn't want to promote. I've seen that crap since I started. Grow the F up, promote the art. Yeah. Oh, you wouldn't, that.
Okay. Gotta love Steve. I do.
What was that Ted shown you? Remy quote.
Yeah. What was Ted showing you? Yep.
Yeah.
What did Ted show you? Yep.
Yeah. Creates the vibes.
Yep.
So, and I think that was the biggest moment for me for the camp when Talis we sat down because he stayed at the house and he had one more night, and every time I went somewhere, he was glued to me by choice, not, although Janice did take him out in her Mustang. I love you, man. And he, we kept talking about so much because he has plans, and we both had plans for what's going on in South America and stuff like that. And which, by the way, stuff's happening in South America.
That's good stuff. Yeah. No, the interaction like that, that's another side benefit. I told you what Tim McMillan told me about my videos and stuff like that he was really, really happy with them and they use them.
Very good.
He gave me a lot of kudos for them. which is not something you hear every day. So that was nice because that's a lot of work putting those out.
We put a lot of free content out to promote the art.
Yep.
Is it promoting us? Well, of course it's promoting us. But ultimately, it's helping everyone in the art that decides to use that information. And it's been very evident, too, because, we've been watching somebody who's actually been copying what we've been doing, sort of. And now it's funny how they're saying everything that we've been saying. Like, nice of you to start coming to the table and realizing this. You're probably about 10 years behind. But hey, at least you're acknowledging that there is a difference between the art within your art and schools that do it as a standalone or people that do it as a standalone thing. So, I think that was a big jump for that people, but, at the end of the day, it's good to know that people are using our content out there to help them and help their students because that's what we want to do.
What is the rising tide and all of that good stuff?
There we go. Raises all ships, baby.
Yep.
So like I said, I had a blast at the camp. I'm very pleased with, I had certain goals things that I wanted to cover that I didn't get a chance. And there's multiple reasons why that didn't happen. And one of which is that too much stuff was going on in my life. The physiotherapy, the surgery, the physiotherapy, all that stuff has thrown me off. So it's I didn't get the things done that I wanted to get done. But at the end of the day, we'll get there. It's not a big deal.
Yep.
And I found out what I was looking for. That was perfect. Okay, good. Everyone that I talked to was pleased with the camp. They said they had a great camp.
Yep.
And a big portion of that was the camaraderie. I felt really bad for Peggy because we were a bunch of guys plus Peggy. So needless to say, guys suck.
Well, and she grew up with the three brothers, so it was nothing new for her. So she was awesome.
No, she but there were very few opportunities to make some sarcastic comment that were given up.
Yep.
Pretty much, if there was an opportunity to make some crass comment,
and she would give it. Yep. She would give it right back to us too, or join in on someone else. Yep.
And she gave it right back.
Yep.
So.
Let's see. I don't know if you got those other two messages. I'll read Muds. Promoting the art versus people promoting in the art when we get 11 dance in Arnis. Yep. Tales says attending the WMA camp was worth all the hours of flying, not just for the opportunity to train with Datu and the PGs, but also for the chance to meet, train, and exchange knowledge with the WMA family. That's absolutely. That's the key right there, family. We have a feel at these camps, which I value. Not only, of course, I value the structure of things and the
bicep
and the progressions and all that good stuff, opportunities.
There we go.
Very good.
Oh, excellent. Shit. Oh, that reminds me. God damn it.
Oh, I even did a short interview with Tyler too. So hopefully he'll translate that and we'll see how that goes.
My two favorite Street Fighters. You know what? I just realized something. Son of a bitch. I cannot be. I was supposed to help out at a tournament this weekend, and I think it's this weekend. Hey, Chris, is Bezik's tournament this weekend? I'm gonna have to have Janice run the beginning of the classes. I got people coming down from Philadelphia to do private lessons with me, or somewhere down there.
Okay.
Bezix
Every
was
week,
last Saturday?
every weekend's full.
Oh, shit. I was supposed to show up and okay. No wonder I didn't see anything. I had my instructor's camp. I thought it was Columbus Day weekend. Oh, it was pretty tiny. We were good. Okay. Yeah, I actually told them that I was going to be coming and helping out. So a good friend of ours, Rob Guida, has been hospitalized for about a month.
Yep.
And he's now off oxygen as of today. Yep. But he was in a drug-induced coma for a while and all this stuff. And I had said I was going to show up to the tournament and help out. I thought it was this weekend. It's this past weekend. Once again, all the stuff I'm going through. This is.
I don't know. I think it's partly this year, right? So this whole year, I think I've been hit by 2 or 3 things where I've double or triple booked, which that never happens normally.
Wake and talking. That's cool.
And talking. Excellent.
Hey, magandang umaga, Manang Rene.
Well, hello, sir. How you doing?
Hey, we will be over in February around the time you're doing that camp with GM Rodell. I don't know if we'll be able to see you prior to that, or I'm hoping we can see you on that trip. I know we're going to Cebu, and as always, whenever we're there, we'd love to stop by and say hello. And I know that Babbitt wanted to talk about tournament stuff after I saw him at the World, so maybe we can all have a meeting while we're there. But it is what it is. Okay. So, yeah. So that sucks. I still feel bad because I said I was going to be there.
I hate it. Yep.
Too much. Yeah. This year has been crazy for me.
Brutal.
Still good to have a product. Oh yeah, no. You're good. You're the vendor I've been telling everybody.
Good. Yeah.
We might have another vendor with you on a different topic or a different product line. But we'll see. Yeah. And there's a smiley face. You know what? I'm gonna bring that. Well, I'm not going to bring it up. I'm not going to bother.
Anything else you want to cover about the instructor camp? I think we
covered it all.
Yeah.
So next year, here it is. I got next year's event already.
That's right. I saw it on the schedule.
Already up on the website. Actually, I plan on putting. So this is going to be September 19th to 21st, 2025. A couple weeks after that, we'll do World Filipino Martial Art Championships, or a couple weeks after that.
And it's the week after Renaissance.
There we go. Oh, we already got next year's date up?
Supposedly.
Holy cow. I might even go to that. So, Columbus would have been a terrible Uber driver. He always got lost. Okay, yes. So, my goal is I'm probably going to have the next 3 to 4 years of instructor development camps listed on the website. And now let me give you all a little piece of advice real quick here. I belong to a business association for martial artists. What they tell you to do is have your year calendar up a year in advance. So what I do is I did a year out. And when I complete the month, I do the month. So I'm actually working on next year's calendar for September right now because I want to stay that far in advance. We'll talk about what Renee just talked about. So, and the reason why I do that far in advance is sometimes you have to change the dates. But at least if I have it on there, I can massage my schedule a week. And right now, we have a date for our Balintawak camp, immersion camp this summer, which I'll know by Wednesday if we're changing the dates. And if we are, we're doing it a week earlier, and I'll have that posted shortly. This is why I put that stuff out way in advance, as opposed to, well, I got to do this, that, the other thing. The other thing too is that if I have it that far in advance and someone books something, I can give them the opportunity to change their dates.
Yep.
Because why do I have to change mine? I made plans. And sometimes I really don't care if they're on the same day because I got to do what's right by me and my people. I don't intentionally book things the same weekend. This past weekend, so this instructor development camp has been listed at least a year in advance. Johan Skolberg was in from Sweden, and he taught a 2-day seminar. He was doing a tour, and he taught a 2-day seminar at a friend's school of mine. I would have loved to stop by and say hello. Of course, he could have stopped by to say hello to me too. Because that's a two-way street, but I get it. We both have responsibilities at the events, and we're at the whim of the people around us. Like, there's no way I could have left my camp. And you know what? He didn't drive himself. He had people drive him around. He had teaching responsibility and social responsibilities. He may never have had time either. I know when Chad Bailey just did his event up at a Kempo school here, and Bruce was with him. Bruce Chu was with him. I stopped by, said hello. That was one of the few times I could, because I was in a cast or a sling and I couldn't get anything done. But all right, here we go. Punong Rene had a tournament, 2-day regional, 700 plus fighters in Bacolod City.
Congratulations!
Yeah, I would say that's
very good.
Okay, here we go. Facebook sucks. I was looking at the local Halloween events and noticed 2 years ago why don't they have any lines through the past or deleted Halloween events? See 2022. Okay. I don't know what to tell you.
This is Facebook. It's all
actually,
porked up is the technical word.
You will be porked.
That's right. No, you're right, Kaiju. That's 700. That's awesome. That is very cool. And I bet he's very tired.
Let me know if you have any time to talk on tomorrow/Tuesday. Yeah, and so I've got my tournament. Not this coming. I got 2 guys coming up this weekend for privates. The following week I got my tournament. The following after that I do a big community event for Halloween. I think it's the following week. It's just one after another after another after another. Yeah, and you know what? And of course, there's a reason for why the quantity is that big. I mean, a lot of other people bear the cost for the events. If we can get funding, we could probably do some big things too, and that's just something to aim for. Want to go to the Philippines. Let's go.
That would be super cool, Steve. I may have 2 or maybe 4 people going myself with us.
All right, so we will talk about it more in depth. Okay, next week we have 2 topics. Trip to the Philippines, which we're going to be more or less flying out around February 19th, 20th, something like that.
Yep.
And flying back around March 3rd or 4th.
That's us. The camp itself is inside that, right?
Yeah. And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that next week.
Yep.
But yeah, good. I'm glad. No problem. So next week, the 2 topics are going to be the camp in the Philippines that we're running, which we do every 2 years, but this time we're expanding it. And the other one is the accountability partners. Okay. That's what your teacher is. Someone who holds you accountable. Yep. While Remy was alive, and remember, I paid him. But if I didn't get things done right, I felt that I let him down.
Absolutely, yes. Yep.
So we're going to talk about that, because what happens, we're going to talk about having one and the pros of that. And then we're going to talk about what happens when that person's gone. So we've seen all these systems where the head instructor is passed on or retired, or both, and what happens in the current state. And we will be using Modern Arnis because I don't want to talk about any other systems out there in a negative way, but I see things that happen. I'm not even going to talk. It's not about politics either. I mean, maybe because people choose to go political, this happens.
Mhm.
Oh, here we go.
I think that's
BG.
what he's saying. His accountability partners are.
Okay, there you go. And
And
since Eric Alexander
and
is no longer participates, right?
I gotcha. Well, I would say also, Steve, you probably do the same purpose for Abel, and if I were there, you would help as well. Because that was the cool thing. If you have people that have been with you long enough, or maybe they're peers, or maybe they're co-teachers, right?
Yep.
You benefit both ways.
Yep. And currently, because of the surgery after I got back from the Philippines, this has been the longest period of time that I have not had an accountability partner that I've worked with, because I've always had my BJJ coach. I don't always work with him.
Right.
You know, I don't have my Kuntao or Sikaran instructor. He retired.
Right.
You know,
well, there's other kinds too. Those that push you in sort of a way. I mean, Will, I would count him as one for you as well.
He and I haven't got together in a long time.
No, but when you were,
yeah. Well, and we're going to talk about it too, because the board is that too.
Yeah, we'll save that for next time. Yeah.
Okay. Well, February 7th through 14th,
Okay.
mini camp. You may have the chance
Overlaps
to visit.
a fair bit.
Does it? Wait, no, we get there after that. No, we will be in the Philippines on.
I'm thinking the next month. Yep.
We probably touch down on the 20th or 21st. Yep. We get there the Thursday or Friday, depending on when we leave. So, you know, we will be visiting the Philippines the following week, or the week after that, or the 2 weeks after that. So, Will Harkey, I'm around, but as you said, this year has been a monster for both of us.
Yep.
So, and actually, Will had a motorcycle accident. I mean, not recently, but he had his accident before mine. I had mine, and we're both coming back from being beat to hell.
And just so people know, it's we call him Master Wells. He's got tons of experience.
Yes. Krav, Defense Lab, and now he's doing Armor Combat League, and you know, and he's traveled with us and he's done a lot of Arnis with us. He's helped me teach on the road. You know, it was part of the family.
That's right.
There you go.
Amazing.
Let me see. Yeah.
Did anybody have any questions about the instructor camp?
Yeah, that's it right now. So, and I'll say this. Okay, so if anyone has instructors or any questions, now's the time to ask. What I will say is this camp is open to all. It is not just, we were supposed to have somebody stop by on Friday.
That's right. They didn't. Yeah.
Saturday they didn't stop by.
It's not for existing instructors only. It's for those that are, it's developing instructors. So if you're anywhere on that journey,
I'm not talking about John. I'm talking about the guy who hosted Chad. He had the Saturday off, the Kempo school. He was Chad Bailey. He was supposed to come out on Saturday.
Huh,
so
okay.
Yeah, it just, it is what it is. Yeah. So, like I said, we have the dates up. It's a first come, first serve type thing. Registration is not open yet. We put the registration links closer to that, because things always change.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, I touched down in this. Okay. All right. So his humor hasn't gotten any better or worse. Thank God it hasn't got worse, but okay. So next week is accountability partners, the pros and the pros and why you need them. What happens when you don't think you do.
Mm-hmm.
And they take all different shapes and sizes. It's not just a one size fit all category. It doesn't have to be a teacher. Just someone's going to call BS on you. And the accountability partner can help you in so many different things. Absolutely. It doesn't necessarily have to be on the mats. And then we'll talk about the Philippines trip. All right. So no one else came out and said anything, I'm going to wrap the show up.
We went a little longer than we're trying to keep it nice and short. This still wasn't one of our longer ones.
Yeah, trying to keep it to an hour. So
Ish.
125, you know.
Yep. Okay.
But next week, I think we can do a better job. So, all right. Well, with no further ado, this is Datu Tim.
And PG Tie. Thanks,
And we'll
everyone.
talk to you all next week.